What is going on, YouTube? Hopefully, everybody is feeling good, feeling great, guys. My name is Randy, and you're watching the Randy Talks Mets channel. And today, we got some news to get into when it comes to the Mets being interested in free agents. And according to Jeff Passan, now the Mets are showing interest in the top three free agents in the market. And before we get it started with this video, do me a favor, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. That really helps the channel. That really helps me out. Let's get right into this video here. And we're going to get it started with the Mets being interested in Kyle Schwarber, the free agent slugger, age 32 years old. This is a guy that in 2025 hit a 240 batting average, had 56 home runs, was second in the running for the MVP, a very, very impressive free agent. If you don't know Kyle Schwarber, man, he is a beast of a free agent, a beast of a slugger. We know that the Phillies want Kyle Schwarber back, but the Mets showing interest, it's very interesting because obviously you got the Pete Alonso situation, and we haven't had a signing with Pete Alonso yet. So maybe the Mets are showing interest in Kyle Schwarber, and basically it's a backup plan for Pete Alonso. So the Mets are going to need a backup plan. They can't wait forever for Mr. Pete Alonso. I want Pete Alonso back, but the Mets got to do what the Mets got to do and what's best for the team. Now, when you look at his numbers, 132 RBIs, there's a reason why he was second in the running when it comes to the MVP. Very impressive slugger. This is a guy that he got the power. He's going to give you day in, day out home runs, home run power, that slugging percentage. That is what you want from Kyle Schwarber. Now, will the Mets actually sign Kyle Schwarber? I don't know. I don't know if they're actually going to sign Kyle Schwarber, but what I will say is the fact that they're showing some interest is very interesting to me because of obviously Pete Alonso and the signing of potentially a Pete Alonso. But if the Mets don't get Pete Alonso, maybe this is their backup plan. I don't know. What do you guys think about Kyle Schwarber as a backup plan? Obviously, there's not a lot of guys that can replace the power of Pete Alonso. But Kyle Schwarber, I think he's one of those guys. He's definitely one of those guys. What does a contract even look like? I think it looks like maybe a 3-year deal, 100 million around there, 90 million around there. It might be a little bit more. It's going to take a lot to get Kyle Schwarber, but I think this is a guy, 32 years old. He deserves whatever contract he's going to get. You're going to have competition when it comes to Kyle Schwarber if you really want to go after him, because the Phillies, Dave Dombrowski said they want him back, and they're going to do everything in their power to get him back. So will the Mets get him? I don't know, but I think it's very interesting. Let me know what you guys think. Let's get into the next guy that I want to get into, next free agent. And this is a free agent that I talked about a little bit in my last video, but let's get right here. Kyle Tucker, 2025 stats, 266 batting average, 22 home runs, 73 RBIs. This is a guy that is seeking a 9-year contract. Now, that is a lot of years. That is a lot of years for a 29-year-old, soon to be 29-year-old. But when it comes to Kyle Tucker, just imagine the production that you're going to get out of a Kyle Tucker and a Juan Soto in the same lineup. Now, tell me that's not a special combination right there. The Mets are going to have to do what they're going to have to do. They traded Brandon Nimmo for Marcus Semien. Now they got the second base position down. Now they need to look for an outfielder. Is Kyle Tucker a part of their plans? Well, according to Jeff Passan, he said that in some recent threads apparently on Instagram on his account, he said the Mets are showing interest in Kyle Tucker. And I find this interesting because this is a guy that is seeking a 9-year contract. It is going to be a long contract. I don't think he's going to get the 10-year contract that he's probably wanting, but maybe he'll get a 8 to 9-year contract. This is a guy that apparently is going to sign after the winter meetings. So not so soon. But We will see what happens. I like this guy. I like his bat. I like what he adds. He had a shoulder injury in 2025 that he missed some games. So the stats don't look so pretty. But when it comes to Kyle Tucker, you're getting a guy that is athletic. You're getting a guy that has power. You're getting a guy that has some speed. He has a lot to offer. And there's a reason why a lot of teams are going to possibly go after Kyle Tucker. Now, the market hasn't heated up so much for Kyle Tucker yet. We know that the Dodgers have had some interest. We know that the Mets now have some interest. We know that the Toronto Blue Jays also have some interest. So there is going to be some competition. Now, would you want a Kyle Tucker for a 9-year contract, $300 million? Would you want that? I don't know. Let me know in the comments. I think Kyle Tucker would be a really nice fit here. A really nice fit here. You're getting a left fielder that potentially is going to be one of the best free agents in the game this year. This is Kyle Tucker. This is a guy that a lot of people want, and there's a reason why. He has really good power, really good bat-to-ball skills. This is a guy that you want in your lineup. And I want the Mets to get him. I would love for the Mets to get him. The Mets got to get better in so many ways. They have so many holes to fill. But this is a guy that if you get him, man, you're going to make this lineup even more special, especially with a Kyle Tucker, a Lindor, a Juan Soto, and maybe a Pete Alonso. Who knows, man? But I think it was very interesting to hear that the Mets are interested. And I like to hear that because I don't want the Mets to be like, oh, we're just going to give this guy we're just going to get this guy like Jose Siri or somebody like that. We're going to get some outfielder that we really don't really care about that is not going to make a big impact. No, we want David Stearns to make a big impact. We want David Stearns to go after the best free agents. And now he has a chance to go after Kyle Tucker. Will he actually get Kyle Tucker? I don't know. I don't know if he's going to get him. But I think that the Mets, with Steve Cohen's money, they got a chance just like anyone, especially Toronto Blue Jays got a chance as well. The Dodgers have a chance, of course. They're the Dodgers. They're going to want to get Kyle Tucker. If they want to get him, they're going to probably get him. But does Kyle Tucker want to play for the Dodgers? I've heard he doesn't want to play so far over there in LA. So we'll see what happens. Now, let me get into my last topic of the night, and that is Framber Valdez, a age 33 elite pitcher. This is a guy that, man, if you add Framber Valdez to this team, you put Framber Valdez in a rotation with McLean, with a Brandon Sproat, with a guy like, a David Peterson, a Sean Manaea. Now you're having a better rotation than what you had in 2025. Now, are the Mets actually going to sign Framber Valdez? I hope so. And I know a lot of Met fans, I know a lot of baseball fans are talking about the situation when it comes to this guy hitting the catcher, hitting him on purpose, all that with Houston and the mental issues that he brings along, the competitive attitude. I get it. I understand. But when you look at this guy's track record, you're getting one of the most elite starting pitching there is in the game. And Framber Valdez still has that plus sinker. He has that nice curveball. He has a lot to still pitch. He has a lot to give. He has a lot to give. And he's going to want possibly a 5 to 6 year contract. Is he going to get that at age 33? I don't know. But he's turning 33 soon in April. 13-11 with a 3.66 ERA in 2025. I think this is an elite pitcher. I think that the Mets should go after Framber Valdez. What do you guys think? I like him. I think, look, you're making the rotation better. The Mets have a lot of holes to fill. They got to make moves. They got to make moves. And apparently, according to Will Salmon, the Mets are more likely to make one addition in the starting rotation. Maybe that could be a Framber Valdez. I like that guy. I like, he pitches good. He has a track record. And I think that the Mets, they need guys that have track records. So let's not go for this, what's it called? Let's not go for a Griffin Canning or one of those guys or some guys that you get from the, from free agency that nobody really cares about. No, this is not these projects for David Stearns. No, you got to go for proven guys. And it starts with Framber Valdez. Now, there's a lot of guys out there. You got Michael King. You got more guys out there. You got Ranger Suarez. I could see that the Mets are going for Framber Valdez. Are they willing to give him a 6-year contract? I don't know. But I think that the Mets showing interest shows that they are open to everything, like David Stearns said. If you enjoyed the video, definitely do me a favor, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. My name is Randy. Let's go, Mets, baby.